Alright, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode here on Sharkstalgia, where I talk about all things 80s and 90s in the form of modern era comebacks. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Samurai Troopers Season 2, Episode 20 spoiler review. So if you haven't seen all the other videos, go ahead and check that out. Or if you haven't seen the episode, you might want to come back to it later. However, in today's episode, it's kind of, it's there. It's right in the middle. Nothing too crazy happens, but at the same time, they're slowly opening up some other character developments for other characters. And I guess you can say it was a little bit of a lighthearted episode. However, there are three different storylines going on simultaneously, so I kind of spread it out just to talk about my thoughts on each individual portion. So it's a little bit out of order, but that's okay. So, first and foremost, we get a flashback of the four samurai troopers and how they're trying to figure out how to survive as a four-man team, because now that they've lost Shion, they're trying to figure out, like, they're just mourning. They don't want to lose any more characters, or sorry, they don't want to lose any more comrades or allies for that matter. And then the character Musashi basically wanted to quit. He was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want more people dying. Therefore, like, I want to get out of here. So, of course, none of the three wanted to stop him, except Guy, who gave a pretty emotional story, or I should say a little bit of a message, because we've seen Guy have more of a story arc revolving around his turnaround as a character, because now he's becoming more heartfelt, more emotional, and just seeing, the death of Shion was just more for him to kind of figure out, like, all right, if Musashi wants to leave, I can't see any more people dying, so it's best that, Musashi leaves. So thankfully Musashi has kind of a heart to heart, how kind of like having like an epiphany or an enlightenment, just to figure out, like, no, I can't leave my team, so I'd rather just, all for one, one for all kind of thing. So Musashi comes back, and I guess they're all just like, all right, that's cool. So then we get back to present time, and now they're all fighting the character SHIMEI, because we've seen last time that Gaimei basically was the icy terrain. Now SHIMEI is in her beast form. They're all fighting her in the forest, and with her with all these, like, the snake powers and stuff, she basically overpowers them throughout most of the episode, and she basically poisons Sasuke, who becomes better because of the fountain of youth, so to speak. Thanks to Musashi, who also had an enlightenment to not really lose any more partners or friends for that matter. So when they come back, the really cool part is that we discover that Sasuke is actually the successor of the Fire Armor of Supreme, because we know that Guy and the other four Braves are on a different platform, because the ledge broke off from the previous episode. So it's basically the four samurai troopers with Sasuke, and then Guy with the other four Braves on the bottom half of the I guess you can say the mountain, I suppose. So with that being said, they all realize they don't know what to do, because SHIMEI is basically overpowering them, and she poisons all of them, and they're just like, I don't know what the hell to do. So they ended up realizing that Sasuke is the only one who's a successor of the fire armor, and they were like, let's just give him the armor of Supreme, and maybe he can defeat SHIMEI. So they all combine their powers. They give him the armor of Supreme. I thought it was gonna be like a new color or something, but it's still the same white armor, so that's pretty cool. It only worked for a little bit, but the poison still took over, because SHIMEI said, even if you use the Fountain of Youth, like, as long as I'm alive, I can still control you, or control the poison for that matter. So, yeah, the venom kind of just keeps spreading out if they don't do anything about her. So it was kind of a very short-lived battle, but nothing too crazy there. But then we'll come back to this in a little bit, because when we found out that the character Inmei is actually collecting the souls of the actual four beast warriors, you're kind of realizing that even the other beast warriors, they have like their own agenda, thanks to Lady Sagume, whom has her own storyline. So as we get to Lady Sagume in her part of the episode, we also find out that despite her coughing up blood and being a little bit more weaker in previous episodes, we learn that in order for her to prevent from dying, she has to extract human life force from all the people that are dying on Earth. So this is very interesting because we see that all the humans that are dying there, they're not dying just for the sake of like, bloodshed or just like getting massacred at that point. It's all because Sagume is kind of sick. So in order for her to not, perish, she has to use all the souls of those humans in order for her to be, rejuvenated, which is kind of like a Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat scenario. Um, and a really cool part is that the dragon spirit is also slowly awakening. We've seen from a previous episode that it was kind of there, but now we're seeing it a little bit more come to life. So the dragon spirit thing is going to be pretty intense. I got to see how that's going to turn out. Otherwise, we get towards the main essential point of this episode, which is Ramaga, who took over a guy's body from the previous episode, because we know that when Ramaga basically can use Guy's body as a vessel now, and he can overtake it whenever he wants. So we see Guy's hair become a little bit more longer and a different design and whatnot. So with that being said, Ramaga tried escaping because now with Guy and the other four Braves and then Ramaga taking over, Ramaga has his own agendas, and he's just like, I'm gonna, kill you four Braves because I need your souls. So everyone is basically stealing souls at this point, and I'm just like, okay, it's getting a little, repetitive, but fine. So we also find out that the spirits of the five other dead Braves who he took souls of tried to stop him, but he basically annihilated them prior. So now it's basically Ramaga fighting the four other Braves. However, when Inmei tries to tell Sasuke that, hey, Ramaga is alive and your other four comrades are about to get like destroyed, Sasuke went through the portal to try to find Ramaga, and then we find out that Ramaga had already killed the other four Braves, which is very sad. So basically, 9 are pretty much finished at this point, which is very sad, and Sasuke is the last remaining one. So we'll see if he'll come back, and the episode concludes with Sasuke yelling at Ramaga, and I guess they're probably going to fight in the next episode. So we don't know if Sasuke is going to be alive by the next episode or not, but this episode was pretty decent, kind of sloppy, but not too bad. I mean, the story is progressing, but at a very slow pace because it is episode 20 out of 24. So we're only 4 episodes away from having the series conclude. So just about 1 month to go. Otherwise, yeah, the episode was okay. With the last 4 remaining episodes, I hope it just doesn't get too rushed because there are still 2 last remaining Divine World people to fight. And then we still have the Dragon Spirit, then we still got Lady Sagume, and then we still got Ramaga. So 4 episodes left, but all those other villains left to go. So next episode, we should probably they'll probably defeat the last 2, then second to last, or the third episode will probably be maybe Sagume or Ramaga. Then we have the dragon, and then yeah, I mean it's we're getting towards the end, so we'll see what happens. Otherwise, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about this episode. I thought it was okay, but could have been a little bit better. Hopefully, again, it just doesn't get too fast paced and rushed to kind of conclude the series. Till then, I'll see you guys all next week for episode 21 spoiler review. Till then, I'll see you guys then.